All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Greetings from the Garden State, powered by the New Jersey Lottery. I'm Mike Ham. We are here at Park Château Estates and Gardens with Barry Maurillo, Vito Cucci, and Joe Maurillo. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
Absolutely.
Hi,
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting us.
Just make sure if we're talking, we're holding.
Oh, we're not talking. We need to talk here.
But no, this is the first time. So I mentioned I've been to Nanina's before for different events. I know, Nutley Unico golf outings, things like that. Always winding up back there with my friend Alan and all that.
Third half club.
What's that?
The third half club golf outing.
Yeah. And then the Park Savoy. Like, I used to live in Morristown, so the golf course back there, Pinchbrook, I'd go play that all the time because I was a county resident. And you'd always be putting with like a wedding up top on the terrace there, and you'd miss, and they let you have it. It's always a good time. But all three properties, this is the first time I've been to this one, and this is gorgeous, right? This is kind of the crown jewel
premier,
almost.
It's a premier
It's
venue.
kind of special.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
And this is the newest one out of the three. This is the newest one in your
Correct.
portfolio, right?
Yeah, this one opened in 2017.
Yeah. And what's this been like to kind of have a property like this? Because there's the hotel, there's the restaurant. We're in this space here. I mean, I know there's a wedding going on today, and it just the way that it's all done up and just the look and feel of it, it's incredible.
I mean, it's pretty much a compound.
Yeah, a compound, exactly.
You come here, you stay for 2 days, check into the hotel, you have a welcome dinner, rehearsal dinner, and then after the next day you have your wedding reception. We have the chapel here. You do the ceremony right on property. There's no reason to leave here for 2 days. And then the next morning you wake up, your guests will wake up, and they'll have a recovery breakfast at the hotel.
The recovery breakfast
So
is
it's-
always nice.
It's an experience that no one in New Jersey can duplicate the
Yeah.
way we have this set up. It's really unique. And we make wedding dreams come true
Yeah.
with that whole concept.
Yeah. Do you guys have any idea of how many couples have been married in properties that you guys own over the last 30 plus years? Can you ballpark it at all?
Well, yeah, it's 25 years, I guess, 20, 23, 24 years. It's hard to come up with a number.
Yeah.
We average now with the three places about 750 to 800 weddings a year. We've had all three since 2017, so if you do the math there, it's quite a bit just there.
Yeah.
And then we've had two places from 2011 when we opened up Park Savoy. We already had Nanina's from 2002. So we were probably averaging around 500 then.
Yeah.
So it's
A significant number.
It's substantial.
Yeah, right.
We never put a math to
North
it,
of
but,
15,000.
Oh, yeah.
but
that seems
but
like
it's a lot of
20,000.
weddings.
Definitely. I'm curious. I mean, I kind of know, but I'm curious the hospitality sector for all of you. Is this something that you guys I know your father ran a spot in Nutley for a long time. Was that was hospitality kind of just ingrained
Well, it's a
in
gas
you?
station business he ran,
Okay.
and there's hospitality in every business that you're dealing with the clients. So we got a lot from him, and my brother Joey.
He taught us some really good values.
And
Very
my brother
simple.
my brother Joey will speak right after this, and he took over as an 18-year-old young kid and knocked it down and rebuilt it, and then I'm going to let Joey take it from here because it was amazing.
Yeah.
No, but we were in a family business, and my father taught us simple values: get up every morning and work hard,
Yeah.
be honest, and give service. And you could take those three principles in any business in this world
Yep.
and be successful if you just follow that simple footprint. And that's basically what all three of us did
Yeah.
to grow this company. And but service is the key. Attention to every little detail. And Vito was in hospitality also too, V. right?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in a restaurant family. My parents emigrated in 1956 from Sicily. Came here my dad was doing kind of menial work, saved up enough money to get into the hospitality business, open pizzerias, whatnot. So the background was there.
Yeah.
The stage was set for it, And then, the three of us got together in, I guess, mid 1995.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was up from there. We just melded. I like to refer to ourselves as the Rolling Stones.
Sure.
Okay? Like there's three of us. All right. It speaks to our longevity. We've been together for all these years, and you see it's the Rolling Stones, you see them, they still perform together, they have a great relationship together. And, we just really, we love each other.
Yeah.
And we all have the same values. We all came from the same place. We all grew up in Nutley, New Jersey, blue collar town, work hard, do the right thing. So
yeah,
there we are.
It's really interesting too, because you guys have been business partners since you said 95. So for 30 years, you guys have been working together, and that doesn't always happen. There's things that happen, life happens, all that kind of stuff. And I just think that it speaks to kind of just the quality that you're able to kind of put out with all your spaces. Obviously, it goes right back to the fact that you guys are so synergistic in the way that you work, right? I mean, it must be a good thing to have guys that that you can count on every single day to for the stuff that needs to get done. Because if you're doing a few hundred or several hundred weddings a year, or all the other stuff that goes on at those spaces, you need that. You need to be able to rely on your people.
Well,
right?
the key for our success is we treat everybody with family.
Yeah.
But also, our children work the business. So Barry has 3 boys that run the facilities. Vito has a son, and my daughter does the social media. So we are truly a family-run business. But the key to our success is that our employees treat this place like they own it.
Yeah.
But we treat them like they're our family.
Right.
They're like one of our kids. We walk in the kitchen, we hug and kiss the dishwashers. We hug everybody. We tell them we love them. We tell them we care for them. If they're in trouble, we help them. We do everything we could to make this one big happy family, and it pays
But we
off.
tell them we love them because we do.
Right.
Because they are part of our family. And like Joey said, we're all together. It's a family-oriented business throughout, meaning the chefs, they're part of our family.
Yeah.
So, and honesty, between the 3 of us, we've always been together. We believe in each other. And it's hard to have 2 partners get along for 30 years.
Sure. Yeah.
Let alone 3.
Yeah.
But we've never had a problem. Any problems we have is over in 10 minutes. We know that every dime is each other's dimes. No one's worried about stealing, cheating. It's just the honesty and the family atmosphere throughout the whole company.
Yeah.
From whoever to the general manager.
Yep.
So it's been a marriage that, like Vito said, we love each other, and that's going to always be.
Yeah.
And having our children all involved, and they also get along as good as any brother could be and sister, and it just happened to work out.
To speak to that, there's definitely a great symmetry. I'd love to brag about the culture. I think there's a great culture in our company. I really do. You'd have to go to everybody, who works here to see it, and speak to them. But from our point of view, there's definitely, I think our company has a great culture. I mean, really, Joe and Barry just spoke of it. And getting to the point of the children was always one of my concerns, and I always kind of spoke to it with the boys, like, you know what, guys, we have a great relationship. We understand each other. We love each other. We all have our own duties. We do it right. is it going to translate into the next generation? It was always a concern. We're about, I would say, a couple of years into it with the boys and girls, with the kids, we like to call them the junior partners.
Right.
And I'm feeling very good.
Since COVID, right? Since
Yes, from right after COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling really good about it. I mean, they communicate well. It looks like it's going to translate to the next generation.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Joe, when you were talking about just the the family atmosphere and like the staff and everything like that, to have that across, like the three, main properties, and then to be able to, especially like a place like this where there's 3 buildings here, there's like everything's spread out, but it's like the experience, if you're going to have people come here for a few days, like you want them to have, like from start to finish, like the best experience that you possibly could have. But then, if you have staff that feels part of it, like they're invested in, what's going on here, and like they feel a part of it, that just goes a long way. And then the guests and the people that are here for a wedding or whatever, they feel that too, which I think is amazing. I want to talk about like the physical spaces though. So like Nanina's, Park Savoy, here at Park Chateau, like these are all historic spaces in their own right, aren't they? I mean, I know Park Savoy.
Yeah, they all had some kind of a landmark history.
Yeah.
But Nanina is definitely a landmark. I mean, that place has been since 1950, and when it was an a la carte restaurant, it was like one of the best restaurants in New Jersey.
Yeah,
with one of the best wine cellars in the state. Park Savoy, was a country club. It used to be called the Forum Park Country Club, then it turned to Park Savoy. So that's been 45 years, 50 years.
But that has history. That spot has history from the late 1800s.
Yeah.
Do you know the history of
Well, I was
Park
like
Savoy?
looking through some of the stuff that she sent over before we got started, but just kind of like it was a speakeasy, and it's like Lucky Luciano and all these guys that rolled through there. I mean, that's like I had no idea that
it used to be called the Canary Inn.
Yeah.
Back during
Canary
Prohibition.
Canary Cottage.
Cottage.
Yeah.
During Prohibition, and Lucky Luciano and his syndicate kind of were running through there.
Yeah.
And then it turned into the Florham Park Country Club. And then the county bought it and then subdivided, and the Park Savoy started.
Yeah. When you're, I guess, like identifying these spots that you want to, like go in, purchase it, renovate it, all that kind of stuff, was there like was that part of the reason to take sort of like a landmark spots like
we're visionaries. Okay. We are visionaries.
Yeah.
Very good, Joe.
And I could tell you, I'll tell you a quick story on how Park Savoy came to fruition.
Yeah.
I was at a wedding with my wife, and she always says, all you think about is business. You never. So we're sitting at this place. I go, we're going to buy this place. I said, we're going to square this ballroom up. Look at that view. It's going to be amazing. We're going to, you're sick. Let's go dance. Let's go have fun. I go, no, I am telling you, we are going to buy this place. And within a year or two, we ended up buying it.
Yeah.
And that's a God's honest true story. How about that?
Yeah.
My friend's son's wedding.
And Joey,
I never heard of Park Savoy before that.
Sure. Yeah.
And Joey was persistent. Called the owner quite a few times.
Yeah.
Until finally he says, "Yeah, I'm ready." Same thing with Nanina's in the park.
Yes.
Joey, persistency paid off because we reached out. We knew their attorney. We reached out often. It's not for sale. Why stop bothering us? And finally, Lynn Agresti, who was the owner, it was the Gator family of Nanina's. Husband finally talked her into, because he was a doctor and doing very well and wanted his wife to be home. And finally talked his wife into saying, why don't you get these guys that have been, you say, bothering you? Why don't you go sit and talk to them? Let's make a deal and get out of this business.
See what they got to say.
And it was always Joey who would make the phone call, and he's still in sales. He does insurance, and he's an entrepreneur and great at what he does.
But this place
made the deal go through. This was
place,
different.
Vito
Me and Vito.
found it first with the realtor called Vito, right?
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, there's a place for sale in East Brunswick." I didn't even know. I go, "You two guys go look. I'm not interested. We're never buying a place in East Brunswick."
Yeah.
I said, "If it's good, let me know. I'll go." They called me from the parking lot. Said, "Get in your car now. We just hit the lottery. We stumbled on gold."
Yeah.
You might not like what you see when you come up,
Sure.
but the way we're all visionaries, you're gonna get what we just got. And
Yeah.
Vito loved it.
So I
and
drove up
Vito
there.
on the other place was always hesitant. Well, you sure you didn't Park Savoy? You sure we could make that good? Yes, Joey goes, just listen to me. It's going to be amazing. Well, now this one, Vito stepped up. This is now what me and Vito see, and we see it great. And then Vito just saw the whole
So
picture.
within 5 hours, we had the whole thing figured out.
Yeah.
You know, Vito saying this, Paris saying that, I'm saying this. Oh, and then we could build a hotel next door on that lot when it, you know, and everything we talked about, we executed and we did it.
Yeah. That's incredible. And just so when you pulled up, when you said you weren't going to like it when you pulled up, like why didn't you think he was going to be into it?
No, just East Brunswick. I never heard
Yeah.
of East Brunswick.
No, I said you may not like what you see when you pull up.
Oh,
until you
yes.
see the property and
Yes.
we start going over it.
It was a
It
knockdown.
was an older
Okay.
building.
It was antiquated.
Yeah.
We have gardens now. There were no gardens. There was a brick thing out there. That
That was actually a driveway right here.
That was a driveway that went through here.
Yeah.
Right.
The gardens was a driveway.
Yeah.
There was no bridal suites. We added on. We just knocked down 75% of the place and
Yeah.
kept a few walls. And
I'll tell you one of the incredible things about it is. Let me tell you about one of the incredible things about it, about the renovation. We did this. You'd have to see it before we started.
Yeah.
We did the construction. The planning part took how many months? Maybe 4 or 5 months.
But we broke ground without even permits. Like
Right.
the town let us start doing, demo and stuff
Right.
like that. So we started in April construction, and we opened the following.
Right. We
9,
10,
was 10 months.
10 months from shovel in the ground to when we opened.
That's
Just incredible.
The engineer of the town says, "Gentlemen, it's a 2-year job. I hope you don't book any weddings before that."
got one next week.
Well, we did.
Yeah.
March 4th was our first wedding. It was around that we had 130 people every day here. We brought them Dunkin' Donuts. We got them lunch. It was crazy. It was.
We spent more money on lunch and
Me and
coffee
V-
for the help, but they weren't allowed to leave.
yeah.
But I
It
got
didn't
we got
come
open.
without any consequences.
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Vito had open heart surgery a couple months after we opened, and I was a month after Vito. So it put a lot of we put pressure on ourselves that was
right.
probably we didn't have to, because we could have gave it a little more time.
Yeah.
But it all worked out. But we booked 350 weddings before we opened
That's unbelievable.
But
out of a trailer.
I gotta give kudos to the town of East Brunswick. They were fantastic. I mean, they were on board. We had a meeting with them because we had a bad experience with a site, another historic site that would have been unbelievable. I'm not going to speak to the town or where it was or who it was, but we kind of learned our lesson.
yeah.
And we sat down with the mayor here, and we explained to them who we were. You know, hey, we're Vito, Joe, and Barry. We're Nanina's in the Park. We're the Park Savoy, okay? We work really great with the towns where we're in. We give back to the community. Do you want us here? Right up front, are you willing to work with us and help with what we need to have done? Inspections, blah, 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 blah. They were fantastic.
Right.
They were
Mayor
great.
Stahl at the time.
Mayor Stoll at the time, and now Mayor Cohen.
And then Mayor
transitioned.
Stoll became judge, and Mayor Cohen was the new mayor and filled right in, and he was
They were great.
as is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just been a great town to work
The
with.
building inspectors, guys, like, guys.
But we treat them like family too.
Sure.
And we respect.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you treat everybody the way you want to be treated, people will give you that little extra
Yeah.
help and support.
Right.
If you have an attitude and you're nasty, you never win in life.
No, definitely not.
So you get more bees with honey, and we treat.
And it's out of the heart. It's not fake. We're
Yeah,
not
it's not-
salespeople. We
Yeah.
don't. When we do weddings, we do things through our heart, not because we want to sell.
Right.
The Mayo Performing Arts Center is the heart of arts and entertainment in Morristown, New Jersey. MPAC presents over 200 events annually and is home to an innovative children's arts education program. To see MPAC's upcoming schedule of world-class concerts, stand-up comedy, family shows, and more, head to mayoarts.org or just click the link in our show notes.
So it's just funny that we're kind of on that topic, because I do, like, we talked about, some of the stuff that, like, I've attended at Nanina's after, but just things that are dedicated to the community, and the stuff that you guys do, the stuff that you kind of, or it's always a point to make sure that you're engaging with the community and giving back in different capacities. Can we talk about, like, I mean, obviously we understand the importance of that, but kind of talk about some of the things that you guys do, whether it's like a foundation that you either started or involved in, and stuff that's like important to you, that you're able to continue engaging with those communities.
Yeah. So the key, the thing that we started back in 1994.
Yeah.
1994. Gianna
Right
was
after
2 years old.
Gianna, right after.
My daughter had a brain tumor, exterior thermoid tumor, and it was at Children's Hospital in Newark. And we had literally like 25 people in the waiting room.
Yeah.
And when she came out of surgery in the intensive care unit, there was probably 6 kids that not one person was sitting by their bedside. And we had, me and my wife were allowed in, but another 20 people waiting in the waiting room for my daughter.
Yeah.
It broke our heart. So the day my daughter was leaving school, the hospital, we said we were going to get toys for every patient. So we got a list of the patients, and we got Barney and a Polaroid camera. We went through every room, and we took pictures with Barney, made him smile, gave him a little gift.
Yeah.
And it was so rewarding. It was like the best thing I ever did in my life. So we all talked about it, and we started the Cheer Me Up Foundation, because we just cheered people up. So we do events at Nanina's, Christmas parties. We give 640 Thanksgiving baskets away to families throughout like 5 or 6 towns in our area. We at the CP Center, we do a Valentine dance, and we do a lot of great things. We cheer them up. We can't change their life, but we cheer them up.
Joey started the foundation and works diligently to keep it amazing.
Yeah.
So kudos to Joey. We back him, of course, because it's an amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
But without Joey, the foundation would have never been or continued to operate.
And there's another charity that we're involved with that Vito's more active in.
Yeah, in fact, we're having the gala.
Got your
we
mic.
do,
The mic.
The
mic.
I'm sorry.
The mic.
Oh, the mic. I keep forgetting the mic, folks.
Just so natural. We're just flowing. It's going great.
We are. It is.
Yeah.
It's just a natural conversation. So, myself, Joe, and Barry are also involved in the what's called the Shining Stars. It is a foundation that focuses towards the performing arts.
Okay.
We have children and adults, and it's for special needs. And they perform. They have performances throughout the year, and then once a year we do a gala, which will be on June 4th, right, Barry?
June 4th.
June 4th.
June 4th here.
Wednesday night.
Yeah, here at the Chateau. It's a fantastic evening. We have a gala. Everybody gets dressed. We celebrate the kids. The kids perform. The kids and adults, I should say. It's just a fabulous foundation. Mike and Sally Kersey started it years ago. They have 2 special needs children, and they just give a lot of their time, and it's fantastic. Go online, Google it, Shining Stars Foundation, and you can read about it, donate to it. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely put the Cheer Me Up stuff and the Shining Stars stuff, like links and stuff, so people just go click if they want to either get involved or donate or whatever. They can go do
Fantastic.
that. So make sure you do that because obviously they sound great. And honestly, just real fast, Radio Garden State, our radio station, which is just geared towards creators in the state of New Jersey. I feel like there's some, opportunities or synergies are there or whatever. So we should definitely chat about that. I want to shift gears like a little bit with you, Vito. So Belmar Racing and Breeding, right? Is that correct?
That's correct,
Yeah.
yes.
Can we talk about that a little bit? Because I found that I was looking through all the notes that she sent over, and I was like, oh wow, these guys literally like do so much stuff. Maybe you have more hours in the day than most people or whatever, but it's so cool to see all these different things you guys are involved in. So can we talk about that a little bit?
That's a subject dear to my heart, that's for sure. I love that. So what do you want to know about it?
You just had a winner in
my horse Dornoch. Well, I'm one of the major owners of Dornoch, who won the Belmont Stakes last year, and also the Haskell Stakes, which is a big national race, but is held at Monmouth Park in New Jersey.
Yeah,
it was a fabulous, fantastic year. I mean, I've raced horses. I started out in the standardbred, trotters and pacers. Oh, I guess back in '85.
Whitewater Canyon.
Yeah. Was my first horse who was very successful. I guess that's why I'm still in it.
Sure. Yeah.
You get a taste of it, and you're successful. Sometimes it's good that you have early success. Sometimes it's not so good.
Yeah.
But I transitioned into the thoroughbred business about, I guess maybe it's about 5-6 years now. And it's here again, it's been very successful. I mean, when you think about the amount of horses that are born every year, foals, between 15 and 18,000 foals each year, to get a horse that wins one of the classics is pretty much like winning the lottery, I would say.
Yeah.
And it was just such a fantastic experience. I love the business. I love horses. I love meeting new people. It's just such a rewarding sport.
Yeah.
Before that, actually, at the end of the harness business, I was breeding a lot, and I actually bred the 2002 Hambletonian winner.
Wow.
Which the Hambletonian is the premier trotting race in the world.
Yep.
So the past few years have been pretty rewarding as far
for
as
sure.
goes.
And here's a fun fact for people that are listening.
After winning the Belmont and all these other things, he's almost even.
Working on it.
Let's work on it, right? But there's still time.
Yeah, still time. But the New Jersey state animal horse, there's more horses in New Jersey per capita than any other state in the country. Which
Really?
Yeah. So small, but still so many people. And
I thought it'd be Kentucky.
it's more per
Surprising.
capita than
Kentucky would have
Kentucky.
been a
Yeah.
big guess.
Yeah. But per capita. But that to that point,
Saratoga.
people have to realize how important the horse business is to New Jersey.
Yeah.
It employs so many people. It does so much for people. It maintains our green space.
Yeah.
The farms, so they're not developed, whatnot. The state right now, we're in a state now where Meadowlands is struggling a little bit. Monmouth Park has kind of had somewhat of a resurgence, but it struggles. The state, we really do need casinos in the state.
Could you do anything about that or no?
I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to whoever I may know.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the whole South Jersey, North Jersey thing with the casinos and whatnot.
Yeah.
But really, honestly, the state needs casinos. I mean, we're trying to compete on unlevel ground against the other states who have racing. You know, Kentucky has casinos now. You know, they contribute to the purses, to the breeders, to everything else. New York has it. Pennsylvania has it. We don't have it.
Yeah.
I mean, to keep this industry alive, we need it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
And just going back to, even like from there, the farms and everything like that, it's all cyclical and all kind of works together.
Absolutely.
Let's shift it back because we're getting closer to the end of the episode, but let's shift it back to, Park Savoy, Nanina's in the park, and then here at the Park Chateau. Three guys from Nutley. Obviously, the food needs to be like on point, right? So can we talk about the separation of like how good the food is at these places and why that's a big difference maker when it comes to putting on hospitality events, weddings, all that kind of stuff.
We are very critical when it comes to the food.
Sure.
I used to be 250. Between the three of us, we were all about 100 pounds heavier. Yeah. Because we used to be back in that kitchen tasting and every recipe, sampling. If we didn't like something, you couldn't be a chef in our company if you didn't have thick skin.
Yeah.
And if we didn't like something, one of us would automatically say, "You got to make some change on this recipe."
Or we take it off the menu.
But we are known throughout the whole state as having unbelievable food.
Yeah.
And
From us being anal to having the best executive chefs that are out there. Vincenzo Loretti is still there. He's been there since 1971. He's 82, maybe even 83.
No, we can't get him to take a day off.
And he won't take a day off, but he was part of Nanina's when they had one of the greatest restaurants in the state. And he brought a lot of his talent and kept it going at Nanina's. And we bettered others where he wasn't involved, other avenues of the food. And it was always a good reputation as it was. So we just bettered what they had. And we were lucky enough to go into a place that had already a great
Foundation, I would
foundation and reputation of good food.
Yeah.
So, Joe, go ahead.
And you can't forget with Vincenzo. We'll probably name every one of the
Julio.
executive. We have
We have great
co-executive.
executive chefs.
We have co-executive chefs at Nanina's. Yeah. And
Chef Julio, and then Chef Juan at Park Savoy is amazing, and Chef Mike here.
Chef Mike Calderon.
Calderon is really
They're
doing a
just
phenomenal
amazing.
job.
They really are.
Yeah.
Amazing. And the longevity of it's incredible.
That is incredible. I didn't know that, and that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But so that's at Nanina's, and that is the sauce that is you could buy on the shelves, right?
Correct.
Taking that brand like out,
And that was
out of
Chef Vincenzo's recipe.
yeah, incredible.
It was a great story. Actually, the way it came about was we had a gentleman who was our GM at the time, Professor.
He helped us open Nanina's because we really were Vito's was it a wedding business. We were running a wedding venue above a health club, but Vito had the real experience. And we brought in John Buzzer, who was his background was all catering, and he was a GM in multiple places.
And he was an adjunct professor
and became our
at
GM.
Monmouth University.
Right.
And what happened was what would happen was this. When we took over and we closed the a la carte restaurant, people would come to us and say, "Oh God, you know what? We miss your sauce so much, but we can't get it because the only way we can get it is if we're invited to an affair or an event at Nanina's in the park." So John Buzzer, Professor Buzzer, was teaching an entrepreneurial class at Monmouth University. And he was like, "Listen, I'm coming up with a new kind of way of teaching. I'm starting a class where we're going to give the class a project. I'm going to give them something to do, and what we're going to do is we're going to take it from scratch and bring it to market."
Great.
And he's like, "Would you allow us to take your sauce recipe and take it and get it into a jar.
Yeah.
We're like, John, yeah, that's great.
No hesitation at all.
None whatsoever.
No gatekeeping
None
on it.
whatsoever.
Just we go for it.
So it's a crazy thing because they started, and then it came to be like, well, where are we going to have this sauce jarred? Just so happens, my roommate in college, okay, was Del Grasso sauces, and I contacted Joe Del Grasso. They're in Altoona,
Yeah,
PA.
Pennsylvania.
And they're bottlers.
Right, and then they flew out. They actually had Chef Vincenzo go out there. They did multiple tests. Finally got the recipe right, and that's pretty much the history of it.
And we hired one of the students, and he ran our company for like the first 5 years.
Really? That's But to me, that's so great because, and it just kind of speaks to like
His name was Nick. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, no.
And we call him Nicky Madanai.
That's I mean a classic. But to me, the community aspect is right there. People like that want to feel connected to Nanina's, even though it wasn't a day-to-day type restaurant. But then also just on a branding level, it's just a great way to get the name and continue to put it in people's faces like all the time, which is amazing.
And then and I just want to throw in, my brother Sergio now runs the company, and he does a great job.
Sergio's amazing, yes.
Sergio does
More of the family.
more family.
Yeah, more family. So as we're gonna close out with this question. So this was one that came in from Karen, and she said that one of the things that she talked about on the phone with you guys is that you run a hospitality business, primarily weddings. You're all still married to your first wives. That's correct, right?
Correct.
I think that's. I mean, that doesn't always happen, especially nowadays. But I feel like that's some good. There's some good mojo there for people that are coming through these spaces. And you had mentioned before, like always thinking about work, but kind of having that support system. That's got to be a really big piece of it, to have support like that. But then also, knowing like what goes into like that special day and like how important that could be for however many years you are married, right? Yeah. So could we just give some shout outs to the families and all that? I think that would be great.
Shout out to all our wives.
Yeah.
Me and Vito are 42 years,
wow,
and Joey, I believe, is 40.
I'll be 40 in 6 weeks.
Amazing.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that is really amazing.
And that is the key to our success.
Yeah.
We have a great foundation, a great support system at home.
Yeah.
Even when their kids were growing up, we were still able to put our hours in at work, and they really.
Our wives backed us. We're a weekend business, and we're at home on many weekends. But
So
they kept the love, we kept our love, and everything just fell into place.
Thank God for that.
We're over 120 years between us.
Yeah.
And
That's incredible.
With the same wife, and it will be as long as we live.
But we're 4 boys, and we're over 170 years between our 4 brothers.
Wow.
Yeah, the Maurillo brothers, they're all on
170 years.
Yeah.
So our parents collectively gave us a good foundation of values.
Right.
We have good values, family values, charitable values, work ethics.
Yeah.
So
and a lot of love.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Nutley has that same foundation. 'Cause
Yeah,
if
I
you
would
look
agree
at
with that. Yeah.
how many people are successful in Nutley, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's all because Nutley had really good values. We still have my 8 best friends from high school that we get together with all the time. And we are all doing fairly well.
Yeah.
Thank God, have beautiful families, work hard, and that's
It's great.
a fortunate thing.
Yeah. My grandparents almost have you guys or they're getting close, but they're in their 90s. They've been together for over 70 years. They got married when they were like 16, 17 years old.
Amen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, that's
God
was
is good,
20.
huh?
Oh my God, yeah. So we're very excited to have them at our wedding in October, just because, I mean,
So what was their secret?
she,
I'm asking you a question.
he ran his
They
own.
get at home.
He ran his own printing business out in
Okay.
Long Island. My grandma's from Formia in Italy.
Okay.
He was, just like an Italian kid in Brooklyn. They met when she came over, like right after World War II, and that was it. Like they never looked back. They moved to Long Island eventually. He ran a printing business out there. She was,
Was she a homemaker?
she was a homemaker, but also had jobs and stuff when they had to make ends meet and all
Yeah,
that. But they just, like you said, worked hard. Eventually they live in Jersey now, and we just saw them on Easter and all that. And it's just, they're the
Great.
best. Yeah,
They're the foundation.
exactly. But you look at that and you're just like, oh, this is,
70
amazing.
years.
God bless
You guys, yeah,
God bless them. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I could say, I think, you know what? I think that me being in the business all those years, and I mean, up until COVID,
yeah,
I mean, we were so still active at our age. We were putting, how many
6
hours
days a week.
would you
We
say?
were 6 days a week.
yeah,
Working hard. And I think part of the reason why marriage has lasted long was actually in the beginning of our marriage, we didn't see each other that much. She was a teacher.
yep,
Okay, and I worked in the hospitality business, which meant late nights, and you know what? We kind of we spoke about the horses earlier. My wife has a love of the beach. Okay, her mother was a teacher. They always spent the summers at the Jersey Shore. So it was like we had a discussion when we were thinking about getting married, and we talked about what we liked, what we didn't like, and the things that were just not up for conversation.
Yeah.
Like her summers at the Jersey Shore. I just want to make you understand that I go down
Non-negotiable.
the shore
Yeah.
with my mother for the whole summer, and I was like, okay, Claire, I'm fine with that.
yeah,
And then my thing was, listen, I just want to let you know, I have a love of horses. I love horses, and I go to the racetrack a lot, and I travel to see my horses and whatnot. And she's like, okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So just a little advice to the couples that are thinking about getting married, have that conversation.
yeah.
Okay.
No
Tell
surprises.
each other. Yeah, exactly. Just lay it on the line. What you like, what you don't like, and hopefully it equates into a long, happy marriage.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
Any suggestions?
No, I think that's
I think that was well said for sure.
said.
Yeah. Well, this has been great, and I really appreciate your time. I know you're three busy guys, and meeting up with me, recording this. This has been phenomenal. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
all right. Thank
Our
you.
pleasure.
Good luck.
Thank you. Before we let everybody go, we'll make sure that we put all the links to both the charities and all the businesses in the show notes, so people just go click them, check them out. If you were thinking of getting married, you might as well just come
Yes.
and see one of the properties and see if it fits the vision and all that.
Visit.
But yeah, come visit. Yeah,
We'll make your dream come true.
amazing.
That's what we do.
Yeah, that's perfect. So all the links will be in the show notes, along with greetingsfromthegardenestate.com, where you can get all the rest of our episodes that we've released this year. So this has been the Greetings from the Garden State podcast, powered by the New Jersey Lottery. I'm Mike Ham. We were at the Park Château Estates and Gardens with Joe, Barry, and Vito. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Do you wanna ride?